The vacation home at Lake Jewel in Florida, that Nancy Aspinwall and her husband owned, was a popular place for their son's friends. On March 4th, 1990, a group of them gathered hoping to go swimming or water skiing, with no idea what the day would bring.
All of us were out on the dock, but Benji was the last one. He had been messing around with his car.
18-year-old Benji Keel was staying with his friend Jason Aspinwall at the house.
During breakfast, everybody was talking about going skiing, and since it was early in the year, we knew the water would be cold. So we were going to sit down and wait for it to warm up some.
Well, we're going to go eventually.
Gene Harkey was staying nearby at his uncle's house that weekend.
We're just about to set up the boat with the boom and everything. At that point, Benji said that he wanted to see how cold the water was, and took a leap off the dock.
It's probably pretty cold.
The water looks too cold to be jumping in there.
I'd rather ease in that water than jumping like that.
Why is he just laying there like that? I thought, well, he's just playing or seeing how long he can hold his breath, maybe.
I'm trying to get one of us to jump in after him.
He's just relaxing.
But then his body went down to the bottom of the sand. But y'all look at him. I said, something's wrong with him.
Oh, he looks like he's hurt.
Jamie,
y'all
get
think
him.
he's hurt?
So I thought perhaps he just had a cramp because the water was cold.
I can't feel my body.
My thing was just get him out of the water. Get him out of the water.
Dial 911.
I told him not to take him out of the water because if you moved him the wrong way, it could make things worse.
911, what is your emergency?
At 11:25 a.m., a call for help came in to the Putnam County Sheriff's Department.
Rescue 4, Station 17, respond to an injury from a diving accident on Lake Jewel. Rescue 4, Station 17, respond to a diving accident.
The nearest medic unit with the Palatka Fire Department was immediately dispatched to what was described as a diving accident, but they were 18 miles away.
First thing that came to my mind was to put him on something flat and not move him much. And the first thing I saw that was large enough to go underneath a person was the surfboard. Because the surfboard also floats, it was an excellent thing by chance.
All right, get up on the board. Come on, just be calm, Benji.
We were like getting him to say stupid things like, what's your favorite song, you know?
Let's get him to the shore.
And told him to say his ABCs, and he didn't want to do that either, but that was okay. It really wasn't the point. The point was to keep him conscious and aware of what was going on.
Here, on board.
The Aspinwalls had a safety collar around the house for water skiing competitions.
Just a little bit.
They carefully put it on to try to immobilize Benji's neck.
Okay.
At one point, his arm fell off the surfboard, and he didn't have any idea that it was off, and we picked his arm and put it back up on the surfboard, and that was the point that I realized that we really had a serious situation.
Off-duty paramedic Jim Passwater had heard the dispatch on his pager.
What happened?
He said he was not hurting, but he couldn't feel anything.
Tell me, touching your legs? No. Feel that? Your leg? No.
Right away, I realized that he had some type of a cervical injury or spinal injury.
Just exactly what needs to be done. Don't move him. Just leave him right here until we get some extra help. All right, we got the telephone here?
I just felt that this boy really needed some attention from a trauma center. I felt that he needed more care than we could give him here in Putnam County.
The Trauma 1 helicopter from University Medical Center was dispatched to the scene.
Don't worry.
Volunteer firefighters arrived and immediately began packaging Benji for the 50-mile flight to the hospital.
Slide the backboard under. All right.
All right.
Got a helicopter coming. Let's
Keep talking to
Jackson.
us,
Benji's parents, Anna and Daniel Keel, arrived soon after.
What happened?
They mentioned that he had hit his head on the bottom. He was looking up at me and said, "I'm sorry, Dad."
2, 3. Slow and easy.
I knew he was paralyzed, but I didn't know to what extent. With my wife being upset like she was, I was trying to hold it.
They brought him up on the stretcher, and
I went over to him and I knelt down on the ground, and he looked up and he said, "I'll be all right, Mom. I'll be all right." He always tried to console everybody else. It was like we were the patients, he wasn't.
Once we got him up on land, he was almost in tears, telling his mother that he did not want to live like this, referring to being paralyzed from the neck down.
Okay.
You hurting anywhere, Benji?
It's a burning sensation in my shoulder.
And your shoulder's where?
He started having a little sensation, which I felt was a good sign.
Good sign, John.
But we knew he had a neurological deficit.
Yeah. Dove into approximately 4 foot of water.
Paramedic Mike Kern and his partner arrived on the scene.
Okay, we got a helicopter.
I remember being 18 myself and all the things that I wanted to do in my life. And here's an 18-year-old faced with the possibility that he's going to spend the rest of his life in a bed as a quadriplegic.
We'll be there as soon as we can, son.
It was scary to see my son go in that helicopter, because I wasn't for sure. I just wasn't for sure what was going to take place at the other end, or what we was going to find when we got to the hospital.
Benji was admitted to the trauma unit under the care of Dr. Keith Sinclair.
He checked his legs. His neurological exam showed that he was paralyzed from the neck down.
Push your feet down.
But though Benji's neck was broken, a CAT scan revealed he had not severed his spinal cord. The paralysis was caused by severe bruising.
Your physical exam suggests that you've got some injury to your spinal cord at the moment. Spinal cord injuries, especially when people are rendered quadriplegic, have quite a high risk of death. Pneumonia is a very big problem, as is spinal cord shock.
By the third day following the accident, Benji was suffering from both pneumonia and spinal shock.
When we walked in then, it hit us hard, because, you know, we didn't know if he was going to make it.
Shortly after we had intubated him because of his difficulty in breathing through his bad pneumonia, his blood pressure dropped precipitously and his heart stopped transiently. Fortunately, there were a lot of people in attendance at the time, and so we managed to resuscitate him very quickly.
Within 2 weeks, Benji had managed to recover enough to be taken off the respirator.
He had the attitude that he was not going to lay in that bed no more than he had to. Well, I knew then if he got into a rehab center, he would be all right.
With extensive rehabilitation, 9 months after the accident, Benji learned to walk without the aid of a cane.
People ask me if I'm going to become completely healed, you know, and I'm a little doubtful. I have some problems with my left arm, but I told him if the only thing I get back is what I've got right now, I'm happy, because I know what it's like to be without anything.
You got a leak.
He was very lucky in the fact that the boys that were with him, if they hadn't done what they had done, by all means placing that surfboard underneath him and floating him to shore, keeping his neck and spine in line, they're the reasons Benji's walking today.
Ready?
Rescuers and my friends who saved my life, you know, I try to think at night, you know, how can I repay these people for what they've done for me? And there's no way to repay them except for say thank you. You know, if they ever need anything from me, I'm there. You know, there's no doubt in my mind. I would sacrifice anything for them.
There's a dog in my family, man.
When I was younger and went to swimming pools, you see the signs, and it says feet first time. If I'd have went feet first, you know, I'd have realized how shallow the water was. Trust me, you don't want to dive into shallow water, because being paralyzed is scary. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to go through in my life. Hopefully it will be the hardest.
It changes your aspect on life. You want to care a little more. If you know somebody needs help, go help. Be a friend if you can. You're giving something back. When you almost have something taken away and then you can give something back and be thankful. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful I got Benji. because he's my buddy.
Every night when I go to sleep, I thank God for what he's given me. It won't be the same, and it'll never be the same, and I'll never expect it to be the same. But I'm happy with life now.